So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Creatrix. Welcome to Unacademy. So in these sessions, we are going to start the communication system and you are going to study the communication system like never before. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Vishal Soni and I have cleared ESC examination 2 times, both times in double digit rank. And I have also served as a Group A Gazetted Officer in Indian Railways and in Indian Telecommunication Services. And I have also cleared a lot of public sector examinations. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy and I really feel proud to be the part of the Unacademy team, because Unacademy is the revolution in the field of free education and in the field of affordable education, and we as a team are really looking forward for every student to just come onto the Unacademy platform. You can attend the special classes, you can come onto this YouTube channel and you can stay connected with us so that you can understand the quality education and you can understand the efforts that we are putting in, so that every student of this country, whether he stays in a village or he stays in a town, should get the access of the content, that too in a very affordable prices, and he can also or she can also clear the examination with the best possible ranks. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy with more than 15 million watch minutes in the overall duration and 2 million watch minutes in the last 30 days. So I am right now the top educator in Unacademy across all the branches, having rank 4 right now. And you can also follow me on Unacademy on this particular link. So you can go and follow me on Unacademy. Apart from that, my advice to every student is that how should you crack the examination and what are the components to cracking the examination. So the first question that comes to the mind, that can anyone prepare from the YouTube? Yes, you can prepare from the YouTube, but you should develop or cultivate some habits in yourself. For example, you should be very much disciplined. You should arrange the extra resources. For example, the PDFs you have to arrange, the test series you have to arrange by yourself, and most importantly, that self-discipline you should be containing in yourself, so that you can be very corrective manner and you can approach the examination in the best possible manner. So all these things you have to arrange yourself. The sense of competitiveness you have to cultivate in yourself, because the audience on the YouTube are not that much of competitive in nature, or maybe you cannot feel the competition which is present right now. So all these things are the part of the journey if you want to prepare through the YouTube, or maybe if you want to prepare through the free resources. Apart from that, if you want that you should get complete content, then this is the YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel itself, all the free content are available. You just have to go to the playlist. All the subjects are completed there. You just have to go and watch all the lectures one by one. Definitely will be getting benefited. But the extra things that I have told you, that the self-discipline and the sense of competitiveness and a lot of things you have to arrange by yourself. If you are comfortable in that, then you can do that. Apart from that, you should also have Unacademy learning app, so that the special classes you can attend. A lot of educators in this country are actually providing the special classes, that too absolutely free of cost, so that you can get the quality content in the best possible manner. Apart from that, there is also another component for you, which is Unacademy Plus. So on Unacademy Plus, what is your job? You just have to study. If you join this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to worry about the crash courses, weekly test, doubt solving sessions, the language barrier, rank improvement batches, live classes. So all these things will be taken care by the Unacademy. You just have to take the Unacademy Plus subscription and you have to come on to the Unacademy. You will be daily getting the live classes. You will be getting the crash courses. When you will be getting the crash courses? When the syllabus are completed. You will be getting the weekly test in the form of quizzes. Every fourth class is the doubt solving session, which is the major you can say the component or the major impact will be creating on your studies will be this doubt solving group. Because until and unless your doubts are not being cleared, until and unless you are not able to clear your doubts, you will never get the confidence in the subject. So once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, every fourth class is doubt solving session. Apart from that, various other doubt solving sessions are going on. So ultimately you will be getting your doubts cleared and you will gain confidence in the subject. The language barrier will not be an issue, because the batches will be running both Hindi and in English, and rank improvement batches will also be there. So all these things are the component of this Plus subscription. Once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to be worried about your self-discipline, your competitiveness nature. Everything will be present on Unacademy, because a lot of other students will be there. Since the classes will be live, you can also watch it recorded later on. So the discipline automatically comes, because you get the idea that you will be having the daily live classes. Apart from that, there is also one iconic subscription. In this iconic subscription, the game changer is this personal coach. So this subscription is for them who thinks that their basics are weak, or those who are talented but they needs a continuous push. So this personal coach will be guiding you throughout your strategy. He will be giving you the study planners. You will be getting the study booster sessions. Once you will get the test, you will be getting the analytics. Analytics plays a major role in improving yourself. We as a teacher also get our analytics so that we can improve on the daily basis. So once you start getting the analytics, you will be also improving massively on the daily basis. Apart from that, there will also be the guidance for the mains once you clear the prelims, and there will also be the guidance for the interview once you clear the mains. So once you take the Iconic subscription, all the benefits of the Plus are included by default in this. And if you take the Plus subscription, then also these things will be included in that, though, so that will also create impact in your preparation, so that you just have to study. Rest of the things will be taken care by Unacademy. So now let us start the class and let us understand what we have to study in this particular topic.
Hello friends, welcome to this lecture of communication system. So in the last lecture we studied about the amplitude shift keying, and in that we studied about the binary ASK. In this class we will understand what is M-array ASK. So we already know that what is M-array means. So let us have a look on this. Suppose you have your signal, message signal, which is x of t. Now it is first of all passed through the sampler, then it is passed through the quantizer, and after that it is passed through an encoder. So we know that output of the encoder will be a binary stream. So this is your binary stream. Suppose 1 0 1 1 and so on. So this is the binary stream. Now we know that small n is decided here, the fs is decided here. So the sampling rate will decided here. The number of bits per sample which has to be assigned will be decided here. So it will be bits per sample. Now let us try to understand what happens actually. We know that in case of M-array ASK, the complete line coder block is responsible. So if it is able to club only one single bits, then it is known as a 2-array scheme, or in case of ASK we will call it as binary ASK. But if we have to talk about this M-array ASK, then we know that if for example two bits are clubbed together and they are assigned a voltage level, so we know that whenever we will club two bits, there will be 4 output levels. So it will generate 4 different voltages level. One for 0 0, another one for 0 1, another one for 1 0, another one for 1 1. So maybe it can assign a voltage level of A in the duration 0 to TB, because we are taking 2 bits here. Similarly, if it will club 2 bits, then one combination might occur of 0 1, and that is assigned with a different voltage level, and obviously this will also have a duration of 2 TB. Similarly, it may assign it a 3A voltage and we can have a duration of 0 to TB, and another one is 4A, which is assigned a duration of 0 to TB. So in this case, in M-array ASK, we know that in M-array ASK we will club n bits together, and based upon that m different symbols, which is 2 power n symbols, will be generated. So in this case, if we are taking this 0 0, so this 0 0 is represented by a voltage level of A, and it has the duration of 2 TB. And if we are assigning a 0 1 a voltage level, then we are able to assign it a voltage level of 2A, and it will also have a duration of 2 TB. Similarly, for 1 0, it can have an amplitude of 3A, and the duration will be 2 TB, and for 1 1, this amplitude level is 4A and this duration is 2 TB. So we can say that if n bits are clubbed together, then we will have m equal to 2 power n symbols, and these symbols will be generated. So in this case I can call it as 4-array ASK, because 4 different symbols are being generated. Now all these symbols are basically the baseband signals, and if we have to convert it into bandpass signal, so we must multiply it with a high frequency carrier. So I can say that the general expression of M-array ASK, the general expression of M-array ASK can be written as S of t. So here we will have 4 different symbols or 4 bandpass pulses. So first pulse I can write it as A cos omega ct, and it will have a duration of 0 to 2 TB, and this is for 0 transmission. Similarly, another bandpass pulse we will have as 2A cos omega ct, and it will have a duration of 0 to 2 TB, and this is when bit 01 is clubbed. Similarly, for S3T, I can write it as 3A cos omega ct. It will also have a duration of 0 to 2 TB, and this is for 10. And for S4T, you will have 4A cos omega ct, and this will also have duration of 0 to 2 TB. This is when 1 is clubbed together. Now we know that if I have to represent all these energy signals in the geometrical representation, then we will need a orthonormal basis function. So whenever we have to represent the M array ASK, only one orthonormal basis functions can be used to represent all the bandpass pulses, because we know that the number of orthonormal basis functions should be less than or equal to the number of energy signals. So there are 4 energy signals, but only single bandpass pulse, which I am writing as root 2 by Ts cos omega ct in the duration 0 to Ts and 0 elsewhere. So this Ts is nothing but the symbol duration, and the duration of each symbol is in this case NTB, and because we are clubbing these two bits, so that is why I am taking this as 2. So basically this phi t expression becomes under root 2 by 2 TB cos omega ct in the duration 0 to 2 TB, and it will be 0 elsewhere. So if I have to write my S of t in terms of this phi t, so I can write it as S of t equal to S1t, and it will become a under root Ts by 2 phi t. This will be in the duration 0 to Ts, and this is for the transmission of 0, and I am taking this Ts to be 2 TB in this particular case. Similarly, for S2T, it can be written as 2A under root Ts by 2 into phi t. This duration will also be 0 to Ts. Similarly, for S3T, you can write it as 3A under root Ts by 2 phi t, and this duration will be 0 to Ts for 10. And for S4T, you will have 4A under root Ts by 2 into phi t, and this duration will also be 0 to Ts for transmission of 11. So we know that if I have to represent this particular signals in a geometrical representation, so we will have to choose the axis of phi t. So here I am choosing this axis of phi t in order to draw the constellation diagram. So if I have to draw the constellation diagram of 4 array ASK, so we know that in case of 4 array ASK, 4 different symbols will be generated, and all those 4 symbols can be represented geometrically like this. So we know that this phi t is the axis, and it will always have unit energy. So to represent this S1t signal or waveform, we will have a point on this axis. So the distance of that point from the origin, suppose this point is origin, so distance of this point from the origin should be a under root Ts by 2, or you can write it as under root of a square Ts by 2, or this can also be written as under root of Es1. So if you will calculate the energy of this particular pulse, you can calculate the energy as the a square by 2 into Ts. So if you have to calculate its energy, so we know that energy of the Es1 pulse will be a square by 2 into 2 TB under root, or this can be written as a square by 2 into Ts. Similarly, if you have to write the energy of Es2, you can write a square by 2, 2a square by 2, because amplitude is here 2a. So you can write it as 2a square by 2 into 2 TB, or this can be written as 2a whole square by 2 into Ts. Similarly, you can write the energy of third symbol, which is 3a square by 2 into 2tb, or you can write it as 3a whole square by 2 into ts. Similarly, the energy of this pulse can be written as 4a whole square by 2 into 2tb, and it will be 4a square by 2 into ts. So in this way you can calculate the energies of these four pulses. Now it is very evident from here that this particular symbol will represent the S1T and the distance will represent the under root of energy. So all these are under roots of energy. Now if I have to represent the pulse S2T, so it will have a distance of 2a times root ts by 2. So this will be represented as the pulse S2T. And if you will calculate distance from origin to this particular point, so this distance comes out to be 2a under root ts by 2, or it can be written as under root of 2a whole square ts by 2, or eventually it can be written as under root of es2. Similarly, this third pulse S3T will have a distance from origin which is 3a under root ts by 2, and the distance will be represented as the under root of energy. So if you will calculate the distance from origin to this point, it will represent the energy. And similarly for S4T, you can also write it as 4a under root ts by 2. So this is the constellation diagram of 4-array ASK, and we know that in any constellation diagram, the distance from the origin to the symbol represents the energy of that particular symbol or the waveform. So these S1T, S2T, S3, S4T in this case are called as symbols. So these are four different symbols. Now we can say that in case of 4-array ASK, since we need only single orthonormal basis function, so the constellation diagram will always remain one dimensional, because as long as amplitude variations are occurring, we can use only single phi t to represent all the signals, because phi t will represent the unit energy or the axis, and if only amplitude is changing, then we need to scale only amplitude axis. That is why the constellation diagram of M-array ASK will always be one dimensional. If one has to ask the probability of error, in this case we cannot calculate the probability of error directly from this formula, which was q under root d12 square upon 2 n naught, because this formula is valid only when 2 points are present in the constellation diagram, and more importantly it represents the probability of bit error. So here we cannot calculate the probability of bit error by directly applying this formula, because here the probability of bit error might occur. Along with that, the probability of symbol error may also occur. Suppose if 00 is transmitted and the receiver detects it as 01, so we will calculate there has been error in detecting the symbol, because this 00 as a whole is representing the symbol and this 01 is also representing the symbol. So in case of M-array schemes, there is two types of error. One may be the bit error and another may be the symbol error, but we need not to go in that, because the probability of bit error, that is in the syllabus. So that is why we have to think about the only probability of bit error, or the probability of bit error will be calculated only when two different symbols or 2 bits are present in the constellation diagrams. So let us have general points about M-array ASK. So in case of M-array ASK, n bits will be grouped together and m or 2 power n bandpass symbols, which will represent a bandpass pulse, will be generated. Now the amplitude of each symbol will be different from each other, and their frequency and phase will be same. will be same. Since the amplitude of each symbol is different and frequency and phase is same, so only one orthonormal basis function which is phi t equal to root 2 by ts cos omega ct in the duration 0 to ts 0 elsewhere is sufficient to represent the symbols on geometrical axis. Now, since only one orthonormal basis function has been used, that is why the constellation diagram of M array ASK is always one dimensional. It is always one dimensional. Also, we know that since amplitude of each symbol is different, but duration is constant, so energy of each symbol will be different, or you can say that the distance of each points from the origin of the constellation diagram will be different. So that is why this M array ASK is also known as variable energy scheme. So M array scheme is also known as variable energy scheme. Now, in case of the BPSK, if we have to calculate the average bit energy, because in case of BPSK either we are transmitting the bit 1 or bit 0, based upon that we will transmit 2 bandpass pulses. So we can calculate the energy of this particular bit, and we can also calculate the energy of this particular transmitted pulse. So if we are asking about the average bit energy, so it becomes probability of one transmission into energy of transmitted pulse 1 plus probability of 0 transmission into energy of the transmitted pulse with respect to 0. Similarly, in case of, if I talk about 4 array ASK, this will be binary ASK. So if we talk about 4 array ASK, so we can also calculate the energies of different symbols. So suppose energy of this symbol is ES1, energy of this symbol is ES2, energy of this symbol is ES3, and energy of this symbol is ES4. So suppose if we have to calculate here the average symbol energy, because in this case we are transmitting 4 different symbols. Here we were transmitting the bits, that is why we will always talk about the average bit energy. So the average symbol energy will be the probability of transmission of this symbol S1 into energy of the symbol S1. Similarly, the probability of transmission of symbol S2 into energy of S2. Probability of transmission of symbol S3 into energy of S3. Transmission of probability of S4 into ES4. So this is the idea behind this average symbol energy. Now the formulas that we will require for M array ASK. So in case of M array ASK, understand carefully all the formulas. So first of all, let me draw the basic diagram that this is your X of t, this is the sampler, this is quantizer, this is encoder, and this is the line coder. So we know that fs is always decided here, small n will be decided here, and capital N will be decided here. So first of all, we need to understand what is this TB and what is RB. So RB is equal to NFS. This particular data has been always decided till encoder. Till encoder we can always calculate the data at which the bit has been generated, or the bits per second and bit interval. Now if we have to calculate symbol duration, so the symbol duration becomes TS equal to NTB, because if 2 bits will be clubbed together, each symbol will have duration of 2 TB. 3 bits are clubbed together, each symbol have duration of 3 TB, and if n bits are clubbed together, then it will have duration of n TB. Now if we have to calculate the symbol rate, sometimes the symbol rate is also known as baud rate. So this baud rate or the symbol rate becomes RS equal to 1 by symbol duration, and you can call it as 1 by NTB. 1 by TB can be written as RB. So this becomes the symbol rate or the symbol duration. Now if we have to calculate the bandwidth, so in case of BPSK the bandwidth was 2 RB. In case of M-array ASKs, the bandwidth will become 2 times of symbol rate. So this is the general formula of the bandwidth. Whenever you have to calculate the bandwidth of bandpass schemes, simply calculate the baud rate or symbol rate and multiply it by 2. So these 5 formulas you must remember in case of this M-array ASK. So in case of ASK, first of all, let me summarize all the formulas. So the first formula in case of binary ASK was that you have to calculate the bit rate, and this will be NFS. Then you must identify your signal. So your signal will be A cos omega CT in the duration 0 to TB and 0 in the duration 0 to TB. This is when 1 is transmitted, this is when 0 is transmitted. So from here you can obtain this value of A. Then you calculated the probability of error. So whenever we will talk about the probability of error, we will always assume that in case of binary ASK, the probability of 0 transmission, 1 transmission is same, matched filter has been used, and the noise which has been added in the channel is white noise or a zero mean Gaussian random process. Based upon that, we will get the minimum probability of errors formula as D12 square by 2n0, and this particular formula results in Q upon under root of A square TB by 4n0. So everything you can calculate from here, and this n0 will be calculated from here. n0 by 2 will represent the PST of white noise, and suppose this particular value is given as alpha, so you can calculate n0 from here, which will be 2 alpha. So all these values you can calculate here. TB you can calculate from here or from RB, because we know that RB is equal to 1 by TB. This A will always be calculated from this ST information, and n0 will be calculated from the PST of white noise. So in this manner you can calculate the probability of error. This probability of error, if there is a phase difference between transmitted carrier and locally generated carrier at receiver, which means there is a phase difference between transmitted carrier and received carrier, then this formula of the probability of error becomes Q upon under root of A square TB by 4n0 into cos square theta. So you must remember that lambda optimum in this case becomes under root of EB cos theta, and EB is nothing but average bit energy. So this average bit energy is A square TB by 2. This is bit energy, or the symbol energy, you can say that with respect to 1. So since we are transmitting only single bit, so this symbol will have energy as A square by 2 into TB, and you can also call it as bit energy. This will be ES2 and this will be 0, and you can call it also at bit energy with respect to 0. So this is the bit energy of 1 and this is the bit energy of 0. And in this case the lambda optimum was was under root of EB. So this much idea you must have about this binary ASK. Now let us try to modify this formula. We know that this S of t is S1t, which is A cos omega ct in the duration 0 to TB when 1 is transmitted, and this is S2t, which is 0 in the duration 0 to TB when 0 is transmitted. So you know that the energy of this pulse S1, which is the bit energy with respect to 1, comes out to be a square by 2 into TB, and the energy with respect to S2, which is the bit energy of 0, it comes out to be 0. So suppose if I have to calculate the average bit energy, so the average bit energy becomes a square t by 2. It becomes probability of a transmission of bit 1 into energy of bit 1 plus probability of 0 transmission into energy of bit 0. So it becomes 1 by 2 into a square TB by 2 plus 1 by 2 into 0. So it becomes a square TB by 4. So sometimes this particular formula of probability error is also written as under root of average bit energy upon N naught. So whenever there is EB written in the formula, it always refers to the average bit energy. So all these basics you must understand about the ASK and the binary ASK as well as M-array ASK. Now let us try to understand about the phase shift keying. So what is phase shift keying? We know that in the bandpass transmissions we always generate the baseband pulses, then we will convert it into bandpass signals by multiplying it with high frequency carriers. So based upon the multiplication or the setup, we can give the different names such as ASK, PSK or FSK. So in case of PSK, we know that first of all baseband pulses will be generated through any scheme. Maybe it may be PSK, it may be PCM, DPCM or delta modulator. So first of all baseband pulses will be generated. Then the phase of the carriers is varied in accordance with baseband pulses by keeping amplitude and frequency of the carrier constant. So we will make the phase amplitude and the frequency constant, and we will vary the phases of each carriers. Now the corresponding modulation scheme is known as PSK. So the purpose of the PSK is that baseband pulses must be converted into bandpass pulses, and for that we will use carrier in such a way that phases of the carrier must be varied and amplitude and the frequencies of the carrier must be constant. So the purpose is ultimately the same, that a baseband pulse must be converted into a bandpass pulse with the help of a high frequency carrier, so that we can obtain a bandpass pulse so that it can be transmitted wirelessly. So in case of PSKs, we will also have a binary PSK scheme. So once we will understood this binary PSK scheme, then we can understand the M-array PSK scheme. So we must first of all understand the binary PSK. So what is binary PSK? We know that in case of binary PSK, this is also known as 2-array PSK. So the line coder will be combining only one bit at a time, and based upon that it will generate two different symbols or two different waveforms. So suppose this is our signal X of t. First of all it is passed through the sampler, then it is given to the quantizer, and then again it is given to the encoder. Now the output of the encoder is now assigned to the line coder. So it is given to the line coder. Now this line coder, we are assuming it to be NRZ line coder. NRZ means not returning to the 0, or bit 1 be represented by positive pulse and bit 0 will be represented by the negative pulse. So we know that this sampling rate will be decided here, small n will be decided here, and in case of binary PSK or 2 array PSK, we will combine only one bit at a time. So from here we will always have a binary stream. So the stream of binary data will be flowing here. So it will take one bit at a time and it will assign it a voltage level. So we know that if it is taking only one bit at a time, so the inflow might be either of bit 1 or bit 0. So if the inflow is of bit 1, then it will represent the bit 1 with a positive pulse of duration TB, because it is representing only a single bit, so the duration will be TB, and let me give it as a voltage 0, A. Similarly, bit 0 will be assigned a pulse of minus A. It will have a duration of TB. So again, whether 1 comes or 0 comes, it is multiplied with a high frequency carrier, which is cos omega CT, and then the corresponding signal which will be generated is known as binary PSK. So we know that if I assign this particular bits as P of T, so you can call the P1T equal to A in the duration 0 to TB whenever 1 is transmitted, and P2T will be equal to minus A in the duration 0 to TB whenever 0 is transmitted. So this particular P of T pulse is nothing but the baseband pulse. So these baseband pulses can be transmitted through a wire, but we are interested in the wireless transmission, so that is why we must convert it into a band pass pulses. So for the conversion of band pass pulses, we will multiply it with the high frequency carrier. So if I multiply it with the high frequency carrier, so you get this binary PSK, and you can write it as A cos omega CT in the duration 0 to TB whenever 1 is transmitted, and minus A cos omega CT in the duration 0 to TB whenever 0 is transmitted. So basically it is, here we are representing the band pass pulses. More clearly you can write it as A cos omega CT in the duration 0 to TB whenever 1 is transmitted, and it becomes A cos omega CT plus pi in the duration 0 to TB whenever 0 is transmitted. So very clearly you can see that this line coder has combined one bit at a time, and based upon that it has generated two different band pass pulses. And if you look closely, these two pulses have same amplitude and same frequency, but they are differing in the phase. So that is why this particular scheme is known as binary PSK. Now if you have to calculate the energy of the pulses, so suppose I am referring this pulse as S1T, and maybe this pulse is with respect to the transmission of 1. So it is representing the energy of bit 1, and this energy will become A square by 2 into TB. Similarly, if I assign the pulse S2T with respect to transmission of 0, so since we are transmitting only single bit, so this bit energy becomes EB0, and this energy can also be calculated as A square by 2 TB. And obviously we are taking care that FC into TB is always an integer, so this is, we are always taking care for calculation of this energy and all. So in this case the energy of this transmitted pulse with respect to 1 or with respect to 0 is always same. So suppose if we have to calculate the average bit energy, so the average bit energy will become EB1 into probability of transmission of 1 plus EB2 into probability of transmission of 0. So here we are always considering that probability of transmission of 1 is same as probability of transmission of 0. So this becomes 1 by 2 into A square TB by 2. So the average bit energy in this case can be calculated as A square TB by 2. So in case of binary ASK or 2 array PSK, one bit will be clubbed together, and based upon that two different symbols will be generated. So whenever only one bit has been combined, either you can call it as a symbol or you can call it as a bit. So both are same because each symbol is nothing but a representation of a single bit. So you can calculate the energy of the pulse with respect to transmission of 1, and you can also calculate the energy of bit 0 with respect to transmission of 0, and you can also calculate the average bit energy. Now I can also calculate the under root of this particular ES1 or the energy of S1T, so it becomes under root of A square TB by 2. Similarly, you can calculate the energy of the second pulse, which is under root of A square TB by 2. So you can also calculate the under root of these energies. So now let us draw the PSK or the binary PSK timing waveform. So suppose the incoming binary stream at the input of the line coder was 1011. Line coder we used was assigning the NRZ coding, which means for bit pulse 1 it will represent a positive pulse of duration TB and amplitude A, and for bit 0 it will assign a negative pulse of duration TB and amplitude minus A. So first of all we will draw the waveform, which is P of T at the input of the line coder. So this will be the input of the this will be output of the line coder, because line coder will assign voltage levels to incoming bits. So this is the output of the line coder. So for 1 it will assign a positive pulse of duration A, for 0 it will assign a negative level of A, and again. So it has assigned voltage levels and their duration. So you can make it like this. So this is the output of the line coder, or this is the baseband pulses. So from here also we will do the pulse by pulse transmission. Now we know that whenever you have to represent the PSK modulated waveforms or the band pass pulses, so you must have to see whether it is with respect to 1 or 0. So this is 1 0 1 1, and whenever this particular pulse is coming, which is representing the bit 1, so we will have the modulated waveform as cosinusoidal signal, and all the cosinusoidal signals will have same amplitude. So that is why I am representing the amplitude as same, and their phase will be different, also the frequency will be same. So first of all, here this is the transmission of 1. Now whenever 0 will be transmitted, it must have a phase difference of 180 degree. So to represent the phase difference of 180 degree, we will make a phase difference, and the number of cycles must always be integer. That also I am taking care. So whenever I am representing the 1, I am representing the cos omega ct, and whenever I am representing the 0, I am representing the minus a cos omega ct. So if this is your a cos omega ct, then this particular pulse is again is your minus a cos omega ct. Then again we have to transmit the bit 1, so we should also make a 180 degree phase shift from here, because now we have to represent the a cos omega ct. So then we will again use a cos omega ct, and from here the transition is from 1 to 1, so there should not be any phase difference. So that is why I am not making any phase difference here. So you can very clearly see here that it is the 180 degree phase shift point, and this particular point is also 180 degree phase shift point, and here we are not doing any phase shift, so this is 0 degree phase shift. And this particular waveform is known as BPSK modulated waveform. So this is your BPSK modulated waveform. So in this manner you can also draw the timing waveforms of the BPSK. So once you have drawn the timing waveform, you must also able to calculate the bandwidths. So the calculation of the bandwidth of BPSK. So we know that the transmission will be pulse by pulse transmission. So in the overall bandwidth, we must reserve a bandwidth which can allow the transmission of bit 1 as well as it can allow the transmission of bit 0. So suppose if we are transmitting the bit 1, so according to the bit 1, this is the baseband pulse which is needed to be transmitted. So it will have the spectrum. This is 0, this is 1 by TB, and this will be minus 1 by TB. So this is the spectrum which is needed to be transmitted whenever this baseband pulse is to be transmitted, though it must be a sinc function, but we cannot transmit the sinc function. That is why we have already band limited this particular signal in the frequency domain. Now with respect to bit 1, we transmit a sinusoidal pulse of duration TB and it is A. So this is nothing but A cos omega CT. So whenever this particular signal is multiplied with high frequency carrier, in order to convert this baseband pulse into bandpass pulse, so to obtain this we will multiply it with high frequency carrier. So the spectrum becomes, this is 0, this is FC, this is FC plus 1 by TB, this is FC minus 1 by TB. This is minus FC, this is minus FC plus 1 by TB, minus FC minus 1 by TB. So whenever this bandpass pulse with respect to 1 is to be transmitted, it requires the bandwidth in the channel which is equal to FC plus 1 by TB minus FC minus 1 by TB. So it requires the bandwidth of 2 by TB, or you can call it as 2 RB. So whenever bit 1 has to be transmitted, it requires a bandwidth of 2 RB. So the channel bandwidth obviously should be greater than or equal to 2 RB. So this particular bandwidth in the channel must be reserved for the transmission of bit 1, because we are transmitting pulse by pulse transmission. So at a time this 2 RB bandwidth must be free in the channel so that this bandpass pulse can be transmitted through the channel. Similarly, if I have to transmit the bit 0, so this is the baseband pulse of amplitude minus A and duration TB, which is to be transmitted. So the spectrum of this particular signal in the frequency domain will look something like this. This is 0, 1 by TB, minus 1 by TB. Now if I will multiply it with high frequency carrier cos omega CT, then it becomes a sinusoidal pulse of duration TB, and this pulse becomes minus A cos omega CT. So whenever a baseband pulse is multiplied with a high frequency carrier, then the spectrum gets shifted in the frequency domain, one at FC. So it becomes FC plus 1 by TB, FC minus 1 by TB. This becomes 0. And similarly in the negative side, it is centered at minus FC. So whenever the bandpass pulse with respect to 0 is to be transmitted, the bandwidth which is needed is again 2 RB. So we can say that since pulse by pulse transmission is taking place, so either bit 1 will be transmitted or bit 0 will be transmitted, and both are requiring the same spectrum or same bandwidth. So we must reserve this bandwidth of 2 RB for the transmission of BPSK pulses, because whether 1 is transmitted, then it is also requiring 2 RB, and for 0 transmission it is requiring 2 RB, and at a time only 1 will be transmitted or 0 will be transmitted. So the bandwidth of the BPSK scheme is known as 2 times of RB. So this is it in this lecture. In the next lecture we will discuss about the M array PSK and the receivers of this PSK. So PSK will have this coherent receivers, matched filter based as well as correlator based, and we will also discuss about the M array PSK. So thank you.
So hopefully we have understood every concept in this class. If you have any doubt in any concept, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll try to resolve that thing. Apart from that, you can also follow me on various social media platforms. For example, you can join this Telegram group where you will be getting important notification, important updates. This is Telegram group where you can also comment, you can ask your queries, or maybe you can also suggest me for the improvement. Apart from that, this is my Unacademy profile. On this Unacademy profile, you should also follow me so that you can get the important updates of the Unacademy also, right? And this is the Notion page. You just have to type this tiny.cc/Vishalgate. So you will be redirected to a page where all the special classes are arranged very systematically. तो मैंने बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स पे स्पेशल क्लास ले रखी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाइक्विस्ट, Fourier series, latches and flip-flop, double integrations, okay, lot of things are there. So you will be getting all these concepts absolutely free of cost. You just have to type this in your URL. You will be redirected to that page and attend these lectures one by one. You will be getting a next level confidence in these topics that I can guarantee you. Now this is the Notion page of your YouTube, on which you will be getting the links of the YouTube. Apart from that, you will be also getting the PDFs of that particular lecture. So this is very important for you, and just you have to type http://bit.ly/gatelive. So gatelive, you just have to type it in the capital so that you can access all the lectures link and PDF arranged systematically. So if you want to attend or you want to clear the examination with the free resource, then this is the channel for you. This is the best recorded videos which has been ever made. You just have to go to that lecture, just click the link and download the PDF and start studying systematically. So we have also done this for you so that any student, whether he is sitting any part of this country, should not face the difficulty in cracking the examination, whether he can afford or he cannot. Now if you can afford, then the subscription prices are not something which you cannot pay. It is very nominal amount which you can pay, and you can just avoid all the distractions, all the time wastage which we will be doing in downloading those PDFs, arranging them, arranging for the test series, and a lot of other things that you have to arrange, doubt solvings you have to arrange by yourself. If you want to avoid all those distractions in a very nominal amount, so you can go for the Unacademy Plus subscription. For 12-month subscription, you have to pay only 74 rupees per day. Apart from that, for 18-month subscription, which is the best possible subscription, you have to pay 63 rupees per day. It is even lesser than the pizzas that you order on your home. So it is that much of amount that can shape your career, that can give you the best possible rank in the examinations under the guidance of the best teachers of the country, which has been right now placed on the Unacademy. Now 24-month subscription will cost you 54 rupees per day. So these subscription amounts will give you the subscription for the desired period. Apart from that, if you are using this code, you just have to remember this code, write my name, write GATE after it. You can also write ESC after it. So you have to write my name and write ESC after it. So any one of these code, once you apply, you will be immediately getting the 10% discount. You will be getting all the features of the Unacademy. You will be getting the guidance of all the teachers present on Unacademy, and everything you will be getting that is needed to crack the examination once you are using this code. So if you think we are working hard, we are giving our best content, we are giving the free content absolutely for you guys, and everything that is needed for every student to crack the examination. So never forget to use this code whenever you are taking the subscription. So this code is very important and you have to use every time you are taking the subscription. Now those who are interested for the prices, total price amount, so let me tell you, total price is 27,225 for 12 months, 34,650 for 18, and for 24 months it is 39,600. You can also pay this by using zero cost EMI. Zero cost EMI can be paid by credit card and debit card. In debit cards, there are only Bajaj and HDFC as of now available. Okay, so the zero cost EMI means you do not have to pay anything extra. Any interest is not, you should not pay, and you have to pay this much of amount on the daily basis if you are looking for the zero cost EMI option. Apart from that, if you are coming for Iconic subscription, so Iconic mein, I have already told you that your personal coach will be the game changer. He will be he will be basically following you to give you the guidance so that you can get the success in a very short span of time. So he will be following you, he will be pushing you every time. Now once you use this coupon code, this will be costing you around 45,225, and if you are using this coupon code, write my name, GATE after it, you will be getting the 24-month subscription of Iconic in 66,600 rupees. Fine. Apart from that, every one of you should follow this GATE aspirant group, and there also some important notification always comes. Now what are the YouTube channels that you should immediately subscribe? This Creatrix, this is the channel on which you are present. This is Unacademy GATE questions, where previous year questions has been solved by the educators. So you'll be getting all the previous year questions video solution apart from the PDF also. This is the electrical junction channel where you will be getting the important concepts of EC and electrical, and this is engineering Pathshala where you will be getting some practical aspect of the videos, some animated videos that will enhance your ability to think. So these are the channels which you should immediately subscribe so that you can get a better content. Fine. Now these are my some YouTube videos which I have created for you. In all of these videos will give you some motivation, guidance, content, and some strategy. So these are hand-picked videos. You can immediately follow these videos. Okay, so thank you so much. And those who are coming on this channel, immediately share all the content which is present on this channel. We are working very hard for you guys, so this is your responsibility that you should share this channel, you should subscribe this channel, also share the link of this channel, link of the videos, link of the educator whom you follow, so that every student who is needy, they can come onto this channel and they can get the best possible rank. So all the best everyone, let's crack it.